I'm actually a black belt in 7 different martial arts styles. I wish these harlots would stop asking to join my harem. Women deserve the utmost respect. Pedophilia is wrong, and those individuals accused should be burned at the stake. I only watch Lolicon to get into the mindset of the creep. I fought off 2 armed muggers with my bare hands in front of a crowd of civilians who cheered and thanked me for my noble and brave deed. All phrases that may invoke the memory of someone you are familiar with, regardless of whether or not you know of them in passing or someone you are more closely acquainted with. Ugh, Mamamax is a and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I should clarify ahead of time that I'm only going to be using information obtained and laid out by Turkey Tom, and I'll link his video in the description so that you can get a full breakdown. This may seem odd, but apparently Max deems it sensible to pull all of his legal advice from ChatGPT, so why not pull all my information from one source? Let me forego all of my public school literature knowledge and big words I tend to end up Googling due to my needs improvement level diploma. Max gives all the same energy of a nice guy post on Reddit, with his desperate need to alter his voice to mask the pubescent child he would claim to protect, only to fail miserably.
Hello everyone, welcome back to an exclusive Mamamax cancellation video.
And his brooding self-help poetry meant to stop self-harm when, for me, it only seemed to make the option more palpable. One might assume he's a trench coat and boots combo away from a national tragedy. But don't worry, he's here to save the children. I'm being purposely deceitful, though, and he's the furthest thing from a hero that he pictures his waifu crush would picture that he could be. Max created his channel Mamamax on May 23rd of 2016. Although he has a previous channel he used for shitposting content about controversy channels, I don't give a fuck about that, and neither should you. Let's move on. He would begin by uploading a series of incel story times titled Life Sucks, in which he would elicit pity points for the better half of 10 or so minutes, in which he would conclude his videos with an inspirational message that, outside of therapy and medication, probably did little to help his audience, no matter what I'm sure he tells himself. Nearing the end of 2016, he would hit his 10K subscriber mark. Really? Is it really that fucking easy? Hey guys, I want to share a story that haunts my dark black soul even now. The day that I struggled to perform in the bedroom, or why Arby's roast beef just doesn't hit like it used to. Hey, just as a heads up, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs by April, and with just over a week to go, I think it'd be pretty damn funny if we pulled it off, however unlikely that may be. So if you do enjoy the content, just don't forget to like, share, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks. He would eventually become embarrassed about the aforementioned content, and rightly so, but I'm still going to judge him for it for not owning his shit. I made piss poor Let's Plays back when I started my channel in 2019, but those shit shows are still available for everyone to gawk at. I like to heart all my favorite hate comments. He would go on to create other forms of content, some of which I'm not going to mention for fear of this video one day being taken down, not like there isn't a laundry list of other reasons that couldn't happen. He would slowly begin to circle around the horror-themed content, some of which meant to expose certain video games as hiding explicit content or subliminal messaging for what I can assume was a socially deprived audience that was one Lucifer Valentine reference away from unloading into their skinny jeans, and with no way to escape, would loop around and re-enter through their app. Now, maybe that seems a bit harsh, but for anyone that can stand his level of narrating for more than a few seconds without politely asking Susan and her team to, under no circumstances, recommend this shit ever again, I have to imagine his audience was also a copy-paste version of himself. Let me clarify that during this time in his career on YouTube, he would allegedly fabricate a lot of these videos to deceive his audience into believing he was a hero that risked his life and reputation for the good of humanity. And after the dust had settled, stepping out from the carnage, no worse for wear, he would emerge the victor. Man, I don't believe this asshole would defend the love of his life from an underdeveloped 12-year-old. That is a pencil-dicked coward if I've ever seen one. Through this avenue, he would venture into the online world of predator hunting, most of the time threatening to rape the alleged predators, which seems like an odd stance to take regardless of what side of the fence you sit on. He would upload a series of videos attempting to strike at groups or chat forums that he would claim protected PDF files that I don't have time to get into because this video already feels like it's going to be too long. These videos would be taken down by YouTube, citing harassment and bullying as a main cause. Oh boy, I wonder what they're going to think when they see this shit. This would incite his call to arms, a request for other creators to stand out against YouTube for protecting these predators, eventually calling YouTube out as predator protectors, when all he had to do was remove the lewd parts of his video that no one really cared about anyways. His ego was too far gone. With the protection of a computer screen and IP address, he would not be silenced and would stand front and center, behind a wall of much bigger creators. As he made his William Wallace speech to rally the masses, essentially he just begged other content creators to ask Susan if she would please politely restore his video. This did nothing and his video was never restored. He had to re-upload it later. Womp womp. We finally get our first look at one of the few actual heroes in this sad story. His name is Tommy C, and goddamn if his ramblings aren't fucking funny.
That's what it is, wannabe piece of shit. You don't give a shit about kids. I actually have to. You phony, you fraud, you fake.
At this point, he would force everyone to choose a side between the predators or the children. You'll see this narrative return in his storyline, just not in my video. As anyone who opposes him, friends included, would be labeled as predators. Hell, if you picked up poor Max off the street, fed him a warm meal, and given him a comfy bed to sleep in, you might be a predator. You're a pedophile, and you're a pedophile. And you're a pet. This leads us to the crux of our little video. The plethora of content, tweets, and streams surrounding a cult and its leader, who I believe may have eaten a Hot Topic employee, and his victims, or one in particular, who it seems may have been complicit in this cult leader's supposed actions, as it's clear she's eaten several Hot Topic employees herself. She's like the regurgitation of my generation's scene phase. It's like she was the receiver in a money shot scene with Spencer's Gifts. Does that even make sense to anyone? Anyways, the victims of this cult leader speak out, and needless to say, there are a lot of plot holes in these events, coupled with the lack of evidence that Max and company had been gathering for several years, and with no legal knowledge between the group. What hopes did they have of figuring out the statute of limitations aside from a simple Google search? They were left to evoke the presence of the one true beholder of all legal wisdom, ChatGPT. From here, the story goes off the rails. He says as if the story hasn't already been a diarrhea-coated condom to begin with. More information is released that our face of the cult leader's victims, Spencer, is handling the money that will be donated to the other victims of this whole debacle. But it seems someone isn't getting paid. It's very clear these two dipshits aren't incredibly familiar with pulling off a successful scam, but overshadowed by the possibility of a predator on the loose, so I feel as though it doesn't get enough attention. Now, I don't want anyone to think that I'm suggesting that these two were scamming anyone who supported their just cause out of hard-earned money, but it is heavily implied to be possible. We finally reach one of our final heroes in this sad and desolate tale, and they go by the name of YLYL Gets Real, calling Max out on his bullshit.
What bothers me is your answer right there. You've been doing this for 5 years and you don't know how the process goes?
I've never been to court.
Oh, well then that makes sense then. There you go, folks. You're a vigilante for views only.
And clearing up any remaining doubt that he couldn't or wouldn't suck his own dick. Maybe that's how his voice got so deep. In the end, it turns out that Max had allegedly falsified the claims that he made about his initial videos, in which he gloats to being the hero that put the predators behind bars, or that he made parents more aware of the dangers certain websites pose to their children. He may have even went as far as to completely fabricate most of the narratives in his videos to paint himself as much more successful than he was, but are you really even that surprised? He left a lot of individuals feeling betrayed. Former fans and close friends alike would leave his side, unable to comprehend how someone could do this. And to that I say, Mudahar, I'll be your friend. I won't even ask for $1 million. Let's do it, buddy. Also, just in keeping with the rule of threes, a notable shout out to Charlie as a hero. I know you'll never watch this garbage, nor would you ever want to be associated with whatever I'm bringing to the table, but your videos are much appreciated. A big shout out as well to Turkey Tom, as I probably wouldn't have been able to do this without his work. His video is flawless in covering the controversy from top to bottom, and he has a pleasant voice. So if the story does strike your interest and you haven't heard it from Tom himself, the video will be in the description, so go check him out. He's much bigger than me. Thanks so much for the support. Don't forget to like and share the video. Give me a sub if you really enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what you think Max should change his legal name to now. I'll feature the best in the next video. Until next time, be well.